Here is behind the scenes look at how I used Google Sites to create a teaching portfolio organized around the 7 IST standards for educators. In this video, I'll show you how to create an announcement banner, create menus and submenus, create a link to your blog or your blog within Google Sites, preview your website on different devices, and publish and share your final site. This place here in my blog that says under construction is actually something that they call the announcement banner. And to get that, you go under the settings, and then there's all kinds of things that you can use. And way at the bottom it says announcement banner. So if you click on that, you can say the banner color. Maybe I want to change it. Well, I don't know. Let's change it to yellow. There's your message. And you can play around with some of the other options that are available to you too. In order to create menus and submenus, you'll come over to the menu here and it says pages. And I'm going to click on pages. The insert will help you put content and design your pages. The themes helps you put the color structure that you would like, but the pages really helps with that construction of the menu. So you can see how mine looks here, and I just wanted to kind of show you that so that you can see how you can organize things, and then I'll show you quickly how to do that. So I have the home, goes to this one. ISTE standards, notice I have a little down arrow, and then as I click on that, or I just really am hovering my mouse button over there, it shows all of the different standards I have, and then I have a page for each one of those. So if I actually clicked on that, I would have the page come up. Show you two different ways to create that submenu system. First of all, I want you to look at the ISTE standards. So you can see how that happens when I hover over that, that drops down. But if I actually click on that, it will take me to a page that just has some ISTE standards, kind of like a header page, and I could put some things in there. And people could like ignore it too. So you'll still get the drop down list, but there's that extra page in there. And then I want you to look at my teaching technology toolbox. And I'm not requiring you to do this. This is something that I always wanted to do, and I finally found a house for it, I think. And so this one is organized a little bit differently. So if I just click on that, nothing happens. So it doesn't come to that extra blank page, but I can go to each one of these and it comes up appropriately. So I want to show you in the menu structure what that looks like. So you already saw the ISTE standards with the learner facilitator, all as pages. Okay, that was great. Now look at how the icon is different. So there's the ISTE standards, and here's the teaching technology toolbox. So this, when I added here, this one was a menu section. Okay, so I added a menu section right there to get to the teaching technology toolbox the way that was organized. Remember, that was with this little icon, not a separate page. And to get to this one, the ISTE standards, I simply added a new menu or a new page, and then I made them a sub page of that. And I'll show you that right now. So I'm going to create some dummy things here, and I'm going to delete them out afterwards. But I just wanted to show you how it looked in my current website and then how I did that. So the first one I'll do is the ISTE standards. So I create a new page, and I'm just going to call this menu with page, or opening page maybe. So that one will have the page associated with it. And then I also, looks like I stuck that in the teaching toolbox. I didn't want to do that. So let's see if I can move that out. So if I wanted to move that out, I think I can just move that. We'll go up there. Maybe it'll go down here. I think I can just move it out. So now it's not indented and underneath that. So if we look at this, we see that here is a menu with opening that I just added. And I'm going to just do a preview on that so you can see that. So here is the whole menu, and you can see under more, here's the menu with opening. And so there's going to be that basically blank page now because I haven't put anything in there. All right, I'm going to go back and look at that development again. So this is how I would do the one with that I did here with like the ISTE standards. So I'm just going to um, because I've got this highlighted, when I add a new page, it really is gonna make that a sub page. So I'm gonna put standard 1, and I really don't want you to put standard 1. I want you to put the standards that are on there. And then if I right click this one, I can, oops, since I didn't do it that way, I can um, kind of drag it into that menu, and there it is. If I wanted to um, do it another way, I could do add subpage here. Again, there's lots of different ways to do it, and there's standard number 2, and then it's going to go right like that. So that would be how I would create something like this one. Okay, and again, as I look at it, here it is. As I pull it down, there's standard 1, standard 2. Okay, the other way, and then I'm just going to delete. Let's see if I can, I think I have to delete everything individually before it will let me delete the whole thing. So I'm going to delete and delete and delete. Okay, just because I want it back to where it was. The other one is if I'm going to create a new menu section. So here is the new menu section. And notice now that has the little, to me, it looks like a duplicate icon or a multiple icon. When I click on that, or even when I see that in here, I don't have an extra page that's coming there. But I can make those pages, so I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to click these little dots over here, the sub menu, and I'm going to add a sub page. And at this time, I'm going to do just standard 1. I don't want you to do that, but just to give you an idea of what is there. And notice it puts it right underneath that. And that's the very quick way to do that. Then once I have this menu structure set up, then I can go into each one of those pages, go back to insert, and design the page the way that I want it to. Okay, so again, let's look at that. I guess I didn't name that correctly, did I? Let's see if it'll let me put that in there. There we go. All right, so that gives you an idea of how to do that 2 different ways. To add that blog link. So you can see, I'll just put this in preview mode again. You can see that I have I actually have my resume and my blog both as links. And when I click that, it actually redirects me to my blog, which is hosted at an outside website. I privately host a WordPress site, and this is my blog. All right. So that's how I did it, because Google Sites itself doesn't have a built-in blog like Wix and some of the other web building tools. So I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to go back there. And you can see here that I have a little link here. So I grabbed the site of my blog, and then I clicked on I copied that, and then I did a new link, and then I just put that link in there. And I named it blog and put the link in there, and there it was. So that's very easy. And you can see I did the same thing with my resume. It's hosted on a Google Drive. I just gave the link to it, and it just went right to that outside of my Google site. Now, if I wanted to do that inside of my Google site, I'm going to have to create my own blog entries, where it's very easy to create a blog entry in something that is designed for that. It's very easy to do this too. You just have to think a little bit more on how you want to do it. So the first thing that I would do is I want to really add a page. So I'm going to click on add new page, and I'm going to call it just, let's call it inside blog. I'm going to call that inside blog. I put that in there. It did what it did because I was at the top. So I don't want to do that. Let's change that. Let's go delete that. You have to kind of be, kind of how you set it up. You have to be kind of careful on where you are when you start doing that. So let's add because it tries to keep the same kind of look and feel for your website, which is a good thing. So let's just call this again inside blog. I don't edit out my mistakes a lot, because you might be making those same things. It's like, "Oh, no, now what I do?" So if you can see me do the same thing, it's like, "Oh, that's why I did that. Yeah." If I showed it to you perfect, then you would not know what to do and how to back up when goofy things happened like that. I went, "Oh, yeah, that's why I did that." So hopefully you're gonna learn a little bit from that too, and not just see my bumbling. So, I was at some different place, and so it inherited basically the look and feel for that. So when I was on the homepage, it inherited that look. Ah, that's not the look I wanted. So this is the inside blog, and I just called it inside blog because I just needed a name for it. And notice it put it on the website. Again, that more is maybe a little confusing there. I'm just previewing normally on this. I'm going to show you how to preview officially in a minute here. So you can see that right here, it's the page is not big enough to hold. So I have my inside blog here under that more tab. Okay, so there it is. And now we're just going to design it a little bit. That's where I go to the insert and I can decide kind of how I want it. Um, you know, and I can play around with this. Once you have the content, you can kind of play around with the look and feel up for it. So I might want to, um, I'd like to have pictures because pictures seem to attract the eye. So I might want to put some sort of picture here. Oh, let's put this one of these pictures here. This is my our Girl Scout whitewater rafting trip. So maybe I want to talk a little bit about that and talk about experiential learning. So maybe I'll do that. And then I'm going to put the date and you can put any date in here you want. So this is, I don't know, this was in June. Um, making this up because I can't remember. I'm going to say June 19th in 19, no, 2019. Um, and I could put that this was in Colorado. If I wanted to, you can do anything you want to. Some blogs you'll see have the estimated reading time. I kind of like that. Yeah, different things. So then I could continue to write about my blog. Okay. Okay, and then I can continue to do that. So that could be my blog, and then I could choose. Most of the time, blog entries are the most current one first. So when I wanted to add a new one, I would add a new content block above it. Blogs are a lot of times just running, 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 and so you can decide though how you want to do it. There are some other things in here you might want to look at. One is a collapsible group. You might want to kind of look at some of those to do that blog yourself. You might mix and match them. Just make sure that you have the consistent thing with the date in there. Again, I had a place in here if I wanted to put that in there, whatever. So that's how you would do the blog yourself, kind of the do-it-yourself blog inside Google Sites. Lots of students do this perfectly fine. And it gives you your own flair and control, where if you go through a different blogging service, then you're kind of, this is the way it goes. You kind of pick out your template and it's like, okay, here we go. And there's a blog. Either is fine. One you link and the other one you're going to actually create a page for that and insert the different types of design elements you want on that page. When we previewed our site, but that's a really easy thing to do. You just click on the little thing that looks like a screen there. It says preview, and you get the preview of what your site looks like. And then you can come and see what it looks like on a phone or a tablet, as well as that full screen. Another thing that I like is you can see the responsive design. So I can move my uh, screen to the different sizes, and I can see how my menu, there it pops up, there it goes away, but it's always under here. So that's kind of fun to see how it looks on different devices. we are ready to get this thing published. So you'll see that publish has both a publish and then it has a little publish option. So let's look at the publish options, and I'm going to well, you can see what's right here. You can view the published site. That was that preview. You can unpublish it if it was once published. You can review the changes in publish, or you can look at the publish settings, and that's what we're going to do now. So what I like to do is you can actually add your own website name, and it's a name that goes along with the sites.google.com, and you can see how it's going to put in there. And if you're at all concerned about your name going out there or whatever, you might put something else out there. But you can also, and I like this one, is request that public search engines don't display your site. So if somebody Googles your name, they're not going to get this if you see that little check mark. And right now mine is just really for you guys. And I really don't care if anybody else, well, I really don't want anybody else to see it. If they do, I don't care. But it's not made to be searched, and I'm not looking for a job and all that bit. So, um, and then I'm going to make sure that that's clicked, and then I will save that. I didn't make any changes, so my save isn't there to do that. But you would make your changes appropriately and save that. And once it's published, then I should be able to go to that site. You should be able to share that site, and that should be there. Now, again, if you make changes and you don't republish your site, we're not going to see those changes. So that's a common error that happens. Um, and you can, I should mention this too, you can also share this with others. And when you share this with others, there's a couple things that you can do with that. It should look just pretty much like the normal when you share a Google Doc or share something within that Google system. It looks really close to that. You just have to make sure if you share it with groups or people, why are you sharing that with them? Are you letting them just view it? Do you want them to be able to collaborate with you? And that might be great for a class project too, is if you had your students do a collaborative project and they created a website from it, and each had a page, or they had a different topic, and so they were working on it together but separately. So that might be a place that you would share. But we just want to see your website, so probably publishing it privately would be the best way to do that. Now you have it. You can put that little under construction or anything you want. Maybe I want an announcement like, hey, attend this event on such and such a day, or don't forget Digital Citizenship Week, or hey, it's time for the hour of code. I can put anything I want to up there. Right now I just got under construction and I'm thinking I like that yellow. That's one thing we talked about. We talked about the menuing systems. We talked about creating pages, the menus, the submenus. We talked about links. We talked about how to make a blog within Google Sites. And now I hope you have everything you need to create a site for a portfolio